Ranting, raving, wailing, gnashing of teeth and tears, all part of the American landscape at the moment, featuring every person who already has a busted bracket in the NCAA tournament. And as the only way they win anything at this point is if the dark underlord rises and changes the outcomes from Thursday. Save your breath, my friend. But there is more to college basketball at the moment than such trivial matters. Welcome back to MidPoint, the man who originated the concept of sports business and thus knows where the money is buried. He's probably going to have it as soon as his bracket comes out perfect. The sports professor, Rick Horrow, joins us. Please don't tell me that your brackets are still in shape after Thursday. Don't lie to me.
Hey, leave me alone. I'm looking at my bracket and the results. And there you go. That's the right answer. By the way, do you realize that the odds of a perfect bracket before the tournament, get this number. I know we got a lot of other stuff to do.
Go ahead.
9, 223, 372, 036, 854, 775, 808 to 1. That's over 9 quintillion to 1, I'm told by my mathematical friends. I thought a quintillion was where those like 14-year-olds go to proms. Is that what a quintillion is?
That's very close to the cotillion. It's okay. That's very close. But
Hey,
don't worry about it. Whoever wins is going to be the person who sits there and they pick the teams based on the colors of the jerseys. You and I both know that.
I've got a pet terrier. She's right here. I gave her some darts, and she threw it at the board. I think she's doing better than I am.
Probably is. Hey, let's talk about Jim Boeheim here. Told that he's going to retire in 3 years. He's gone right on the offensive. He said that everything that's wrong with college basketball is the NCAA's fault, and I'm innocent. Wait a minute. It is the NCAA's fault in a little bit, but Jim Boeheim, I think, is just as much a part of the problem as anybody else.
Well, he is part of the problem in the sense that he is the top-down manager who should have known and didn't fix it. But I like the idea, frankly, very much, that Jim Boeheim, with his reputation and credibility, is using these next 3 years to effectively take off after the NCAA to see what they can do to change their regulations at a time where NCAA governance is being changed anyway.
But does he still have the credibility, though, Rick, the fact that they got him on all these violations and he was the guy in charge?
Well, I think he has a little less credibility than he did yesterday, but I do think that you've got to remember what people call the body of work. He's been Coach Krzyzewski's Olympic assistant for a number of years, and on and on and on. So you can't totally discard that, by the way. Nor, I know we're getting into another issue as we're getting into Kentucky now being 35-0 after beating Hampton last night. But John Calipari has taken one-and-done freshman kids, Massachusetts and other schools and Memphis, and look at what he's doing in Kentucky. So guys.
But he is right. But Boeheim is right, though. I mean, the NCAA is part of the problem here, no matter how you slice it.
That is exactly my point. For once, we do agree that the NCAA right now is a part of the problem, and somebody credible needs to step up and say, we've got to be able to resolve it, and here are some suggestions on how we do it.
Okay, I've only got about a minute left here. I want to make sure we hit this. FIFA is going to pay clubs $209 million in compensation for the 2018, the 2022 World Cups, and they're moving the 2022 World Cup to December. This is a nightmare for these clubs.
And the 2021 Confederations Cup, by the way, which is usually in Qatar at the same time, they're going to figure out how to move that too. So it means that it's hot one year and it's not hot the next year. So what they're doing is they're saying we don't like the disruption we're imposing on the entire soccer schedule, but here's a couple of $100 million to deal with it.
Well, isn't that just, though, the way that FIFA works? Because they've got the ball, they run the show here. But still, if we want to talk about money and graft, let's talk about FIFA and the fact that 1 year you've got it in Russia and the next 4 years you got it in Qatar.
Well, the difference is that you have countries that are willing to spend a whole lot of money. They say above the line, Qatar was willing to spend money on portable soccer stadiums to move around the world after the games are over. I do hope that's part of the plan. If you have oil money, you make outrageous promises that nobody else in the world can do, and everybody gets jealous over it.
And you change the sport, and all of a sudden now they're finishing out the World Cup 1 week before Christmas. It just doesn't seem right. We're all out of time, Professor, unfortunately, but hey, I wish you a very happy bracket next year because I know that you're done for this year, right?
You'll see flames coming out of my office. I'm going to burn both of these. One because it's my bracket, and the other because I don't care anymore.
Wouldn't be the first time I've seen flames coming out of an office of yours, but that's another story altogether. Sports Professor Rick Horrow, thanks so much for joining us, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. All right, just in time for the purchase of that new pad or phone comes word about your health and those glowing, tiny little screens. It's coming up next right here on MidPoint.